Hello and welcome to A Spirited Debate. I'm Lauren Green. Appealing to religious voters, in particular evangelicals, is especially important for GOP presidential candidates. According to polls, Dr. Ben Carson has lost 13 percentage points with evangelicals. The Seventh-day Adventist has named a well-known evangelical pastor as his faith advisor. Johnnie Moore is a former Liberty University youth pastor, and he's traveled to the Middle East to help displaced Christians, and he joins me now from D.C. Welcome, Johnnie.
Thanks, Lauren. Good to be with you.
So what will be your first priority in advising Dr. Carson?
Well, my first priority is just making sure that Christians in this country and other people of faith actually know who Carson is, the man, compared to who Carson is being portrayed in the media and lots of other places. And I can tell you, Lauren, he's a very authentic follower of Jesus Christ. He has a deeply personal faith. It intersects in his politics in ways that are very, very complementary to the way Christians in the United States of America are looking for, to what they're looking for. You know, he might be the least political of all the candidates, and he's certainly the most authentic Christian.
You know, where we talked about the polls in the introduction, I want to show you the polls of the Republican presidential nomination for white evangelical voters. Got Donald Trump on top, Ted Cruz, and then Ben Carson is now at 19%. You know, what do you think, and why do you think he slipped with the evangelicals?
Well, I think evangelicals are playing an incredibly relevant role in this election. In fact, this is probably the single most important election with regard to evangelicals that we can remember, maybe since Ronald Reagan in the 80s. I mean, we've never had more significant competition for this group of voters, and those numbers are popping around a lot. But I think it's important to remember that from the very, very beginning, this large group of evangelicals have been supportive of Dr. Carson, and so I think he'll pop around a little more. But when it's all said and done, people will make up their mind as to who they feel most comfortable with. Carson's right on all the issues. He's a very authentic, committed Christian. He is, you know, someone who stands in contrast to the political system in Washington, D.C. And I'll tell you why I chose to advise him, Lauren. I chose to advise him because he's just one of the smartest people I've ever met in my life, and he's one of the best human beings I've ever met in my life. And I think, like lots of evangelicals in this country, I'm just tired of politics. So I found a candidate who is very, very intelligent, very, very much a committed Christian, right on all the issues, and yet I think his greatest advantage is he's a lot like the early founding fathers of the United States. He didn't make his reputation in this city. He made his reputation somewhere else. He was the best in the world at what he did, and now he's choosing in his later life to invest some of all of that in the future of America.
So how will you help him, though, connect with evangelical voters?
Yeah, well, I have two responsibilities. It's to, you know, tell his story, to bring people around him, to make sure that they know who the man is and they have the opportunity to be acquainted with him, and secondarily to advise the campaign when it intersects with religion. And so I'm very, very excited to do both. I mean, in the last week we've seen some really extraordinary things. You know, Dr. Carson did what a good doctor does. He went to the Middle East. He looked in the eyes of hurting people. He assessed firsthand where they were. You know, just this week we had a very significant moment in South Carolina where a number of Christian leaders from that state and across the country chose to endorse him. And I think that Dr. Carson's, when it's all said and done, that his campaign will be one that gathers a significant support of evangelicals, Christians, other people of faith, as they realize that this isn't a presidential candidate that's just trying to say whatever he needs to say to try to coax Christians to vote for him. He's someone that comes from the inside. He gets it. He speaks our language. He is one of us. He's not trying to use us.
You know, he is a Seventh-day Adventist, and that's a relatively small Christian denomination. Many people don't understand. Do you think that'll have any impact on religious voters and on evangelicals?
Zero. The only people that I think are making issues of his Seventh-day Adventism are people that don't understand evangelicals or Christians in this country that much. I mean, they're trying to bring comparisons to Seventh-day Adventism to, you know, other faiths, but evangelicals work with Seventh-day Adventists all the time. We have some nuanced differences on some secondary theological issues, like, by the way, I do with lots of people. I mean, I'm on the board of the National Association of Evangelicals. You know, we as evangelicals, we work together across issues, and so no, I don't think that'll be an issue at all.
All right, I want to thank you, Pastor Johnnie Moore. Now you're a faith advisor to Dr. Ben Carson. Thank you so much for being here.
Pleasure to be with you.
And if you want more on this story, check out foxnews.com for more on the developing story and the 2016 presidential race. Thanks for watching.